Tag Tuesday.
Here we are.
On the road again.
We are killing it.
Well, this time we're not in tropical Kauai. We're in beautiful Costa Mesa.
We are almost in Newport. We're adjacent. We're Costa Mesa, which is, you know, people. It's the poor man's Newport, but we like to call it.
I think the people of Costa Mesa might take exception to that.
Okay. I'm just saying, it's
we
not
went through
Newport.
some pretty nice neighborhoods.
Yeah, no, I
Costa
love
Mesa's
Costa
got
Mesa.
beautiful,
My son lives in Costa Mesa.
Sure.
My sister lives in Costa Mesa.
Yeah, I'll live in Costa Mesa.
I love Costa Mesa.
So we took it on the road. It might sound a little echoey because we're in an interesting space. We're not in our recording pod space.
No, we're not.
And
We're in, what do you call this space? I
The
call it the dungeon.
dungeon's been called the dojo.
Oh, the dojo.
Pain chamber.
the torture chamber.
Torture
Pain
chamber.
chamber.
Okay.
Pain chamber, that's how I know it.
How do you know the representative of the pain chamber?
Okay, so we are here with Dr. Tim Ramirez.
Hola.
Thank you for being here. Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure.
Or actually, thank you for having us here in the pain chamber.
So happy to have you.
So when I've known about Dr. Tim for years and years. He's kind of a staple in this area.
He's a
and
legend.
He's somewhat of a legend, even if it's in his own mind.
Yes.
But yeah.
Behind the orange curtain.
Most people, I mean, a lot of people in Newport Beach will know him because he works out he's worked out a lot of people. And when I first heard about him, I had this picture, right? I had this picture of what it would be like to work out with him.
With Dr. Tim.
With Dr. Tim. Not him specifically, but like the
Oh, the
location.
workout.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it's Newport Beach adjacent, and all the people that come here are Newport Beach people, a lot of them. And so it's going to be this hoity-toity, really, you know, posh place to be.
Wear your best
Parking lot's
clothes.
much more impressive than the
Yeah,
The parking lot is impressive, I have to say.
yeah, the parking lot's great as long as you don't hit the potholes
or the homeless guys.
or the homeless guys. Then you're doing okay, right? So, but when I got here, I wasn't underwhelmed, but I was a little bit surprised because this is, and now that I've come here enough, I feel home, like it's home, like it feels comfortable, and I like it so much better than what I pictured because it's not intimidating.
That's the goal.
It's very down to earth. It's no nonsense. It's not fancy. There's nothing about it that is anything but functional. And when you sit here for 5 minutes during the middle of the day, it could be any day. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it could be 5 o'clock at night. There is a group of people that feel like friends. It's like the friends of, you know, it's like you're sitting at a bar stool having a beer, but you're actually working out in somebody's torch.
I'm gonna date myself, but it's the cheers.
It's the
of
cheers.
homeless.
I think that's what she was going
Yeah.
I was, that's right. What did I say?
Friends.
Oh yeah, friends. The cheers, that's right. It's
Either
the
way.
cheers of working out.
We get it. Yeah. No, this place is, the amount of equipment in here that's unconventional is making my head spin. I mean, there's a furniture mover behind me. There's all kinds of,
There's contraptions.
there's contraptions which makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna bring the pain.
It does. I
Yeah.
want you to focus your attention to the right over there, and it's this, we'll take a picture of it. It's a little machine, and when I
Yeah.
first got here, the reason that I come here, and I think a lot of people come here, is because they actually are in pain from
Yes.
other things, right? It's not because, the workout is I would say it's a bonus, because his whole system is, well, we can let you talk about this, but what brought me here was pain.
Okay.
And that machine that you're looking at is a vibrating thing you stand on, and it shakes your whole body, so then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I've got things moving around that shouldn't be moving.
So it identifies where the pain is, or it identifies where the flab is.
It does that, but that's not its main goal. Its main goal is to make the blood circulate and to move your,
Vibration, circulation, and flat flow.
yes.
So, Dr. Tim, what are you doctor of?
I'm licensed chiropractor.
Okay. Are you also a physical therapist? Is that what happens here?
Physical therapy. I'm a pretty much what do you need kind of guy. You come in and you tell me what you want to do. You tell me what you want to fix.
Yeah.
I evaluate you. I decide what I want to do with you, and we meet somewhere in the middle.
So someone would come in and you say, you know, you'd be a lot healthier if we got these hamstrings less tight, if you tightened up your core, if you lost 20 pounds, and if you did a better nutrition program. Is Is it that type of thing? Is it that widespread?
It's truly, this is functional medicine. And
Yeah.
You're gonna hear a lot of sounds.
Custom Mason Jason.
Go
Yeah.
Jason.
We're also sitting on
Or Newport Jason.
leather chairs that are squeaking, so if anybody hears some weird noises, that's what that is.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's functional.
Yeah, it's mainly, it's what a functional medicine would be.
Okay.
It's no glam, it's all work, it's not about aesthetics, it's about function. It's not about losing 5 pounds, it's about living longer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is truly what national or American healthcare should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Quality of life.
Quality of life, functionality,
Yeah.
living and doing the things you want to do on a daily basis.
So you started as a chiropractor? That's a question.
Yeah, so I was in school about 13 years, UCI, Southern California Health University, Los Angeles College of Chiropractic.
Wow.
Why 13 years?
I kept diving deeper, right? I was going traditional medicine. Wasn't super in love with it based on the people I was working with. And I would look at them and I'd be, wow, they don't look super happy and they're not. That's not really the life I want. I want to come home and my whole day, when I wake up to when I go to sleep, is about fun. And I want to have fun, whether I'm surfing or whether I'm in my office. And with remarks towards the office, this is an extension of me, an extension of my living room. That's why it feels comfortable and that's why you feel at home here. That is like how I want you to feel. Because I feel at home. I get here at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's 8:30 or 9 o'clock when I leave, and might as well have been 5 minutes. It just blows by.
That's good. So you moved then from, after 13 years of figuring out where you fit into the medical system.
Well, so traditional medicine, great, fantastic, great for crisis care.
Yeah.
U.S. medicine, if you get shot down the street, this is the best country you want to be in because you're basically going to be taken care of, you're going to be fixed, and you're going to be sent away.
Right.
As long as you can pay for it.
As long as you pay for it.
Now, if you go to your doctor and you say, hey, I want to be healthy, and you're already kind of healthy,
Yeah.
they're going to look at you like you're nuts.
Right.
So that's where I come in.
Okay.
I want to keep you out of crisis care. I want to keep you in a state of optimal well-being so that you live long and prosper. You use your body, you do the whole Spock thing, right?
Yes.
Like, I want you to do everything you want to do. If you're 70 years old and you want to play 18 rounds of golf 4 days a week, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever practice chiropractic care?
Absolutely, and I incorporate it all.
Okay.
So I've learned traditional ways, I've learned alternative ways. Now let me qualify the traditional. I do appreciate, I do think it's great.
Sure.
And it definitely has its place.
Oh, absolutely.
But like I said, from what I do, I've taken the best of what I can learn from that.
Yeah.
And then I got into the alternative world, learned all about that, drilled down on all different modalities and techniques. And then, let's be real, I'm not gonna rub sticks over here to cure cancer. Okay?
Please don't.
So some of that to me didn't exactly make sense either. So I kind of found some middle ground where I bring a little traditional, a little alternative, and then a whole lot of what I want to do.
Okay.
And
I love
that's the practice I've developed over the last 25 years.
So you've been in this space, not necessarily this space specifically, I'm sure there's been other spaces, but you've been practicing this type of fitness for how long?
23 years,
23 years.
plus 13 years of school. So.
Plus 13 years. All those 13 years.
But I'm only 35 years old.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, when you talk about not being traditional or conventional, not only is the space not conventional, but when you come in here, it is an open book. Because I'm used to going and working out and there's little vignettes, right, of here and there. But here, everyone is kind of working together. So if I'm doing something here, and I think that's the sense of community that you are talking about, which is everybody is kind of rooting for each other. And you're the most vulnerable when you're in pain, I feel like. And when I came here the first time for him to kind of evaluate me, and my husband has come to him for workout and to also lose some weight many years ago. And you set up a nutrition plan for him, so it was like multifunctional. Many people I know have come to you for weight loss specifically and to work out, but the pain management is where I was really seeking. And I remember sitting here and thinking, I'm just gonna sit here in this chair, probably the chair I'm sitting in right now, and you're going to evaluate me in front of everybody, and then you're going to actually, everything he does is in front of you. You get adjusted, and if you go down the hallway right here with these big open areas, everyone's getting adjusted. And you hear yelling and screaming from these areas. And when I say yelling and screaming, because, and it's shocking to me that we keep coming back, but what he does hurt sometimes, not always, but it works.
True story.
A true story. So I had to be open to the idea of letting a community be part of my recovery, so to speak,
Yep.
and also be part of my workout. And it works.
Did you go into this with that in mind as a community, or did it kind of evolve into that?
You know, I've always believed that there's strength in numbers,
Yeah.
and like I'm building a wellness militia, right? And so when you're here and you see people doing stuff on the floor, and you're like, wow, I could never do that.
Right.
Maybe you couldn't today, but in 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, you will be able to. And then if I pair you up with somebody and they teach you an exercise, I'm not gonna drill down on you and try to like correct every technique and form and make it perfect. I just want you to be able to do it first. Once you get that confidence knowing that you can do it, then we build on that, we make it harder, we make it better. And it's not about the exercise, it's about the function. It's about the neurological firing patterns, it's about the muscular sequencing. I mean, it's a whole combination of strangers, therapy, exercise, nutrition, and that communal aspect of kind of getting that cauldron together, stirring it up,
Yeah.
and giving you your best results.
I think that's a tough thing for people to embrace from the outside, but then once they're in the situation, Denise told me when she first started coming and working out here, she's like, you should hear the noises I make. I'm in so much pain. But then I'm sitting next to this guy and we were talking about his mother and blah, blah, and she like had all this information about this kid that she'd been working out next to, and I thought, this is the most unconventional workout I've ever heard.
And you could be sitting there in the chair, crying or screaming, and not one person come up for empathetic value or
No.
are you okay, or reason being, they've been there, they've done it, they know it works,
Yeah.
and they're rooting for it.
They don't need to ask you if you're okay because they know you're gonna be okay.
You're in good hands.
Oh, that's so fun. Do you have actual trainers aside from yourself?
So no.
Okay.
So one of my long time, I've had many lives. One of my mentors back in the day was Jack LaLanne.
Yes.
So, you know, he would always say, move it or lose it. And, you know, I'd be sitting there going, ah, that's so right. It's one thing to do therapeutic modalities, but I want to see it work, right? So I'm not a trainer, I'm not a doctor, I'm a mishmash of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I am a doctor, yes, I'm a trainer. However, like, what you see is what you get.
Right.
Nothing fancy, nothing new, nothing spectacular. It's hard work, it's painful, it's expensive, but you get all the benefit. You do all the work, you get all the benefit.
And you get paid.
I am the kind of the tour guide on your trip to well-being.
God bless America, right?
Seriously. So, look, when you're talking about that, the beautiful thing about it is, and you were talking about the expense. Yes, you pay for this, and it's cash. It's not. I mean, I don't bring in dollar bills, but we're paying.
Yeah.
I could.
It's still American here.
Still, yeah,
No.
we can't do that. But what I'm saying is, it's not insurance based. It's for you to bring your stuff in to him, and you're going to do it. But when you come here, for the price that you're paying, you can stay here for 4 hours.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
no
not a clock
limit.
watcher. I don't look at the clock.
He comes in, you come in, and that 4 hours could be a workout, it could be muscle stim, it could be ultrasound, it could be a chiropractic treatment, it could be you're gonna sit upside down in that thing over there.
Could be a combination of all the above.
And literally, and it has been for me before. It's been literally like, I'm hurting here, but I feel good enough to do this, and you just get to business.
So over the years of the clients that you've had, and of course, no naming names and no specifics.
Please name some names.
Denise
need
wants
to
you to
know.
name names. What has been the most radical change you've seen in a person?
You know, I always tell everyone this, your success is my success, and it's always measured in different scales for different people. There's a guy who comes in paralyzed with hip.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him. Rolled into my office 8 years ago. That day, you know, I really point blank, you know, I go, look, what do you want to do? This is no bullshit. This is, we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes here. And I give them, very raw picture of what's going to happen. Give them very honest, anecdotal stories as to what it's going to entail. And he looks up at me and he's like, "I want to walk."
Okay.
And I go, "Okay, great. I'm in. Let's figure it out." So I go, "You know what? Let's stand up right now." He's like, he looks at me like I'm totally nuts.
Because he's paralyzed.
He's paralyzed in a wheelchair. So I'm like, "Stand up." And he's like, "I can't." So I'm like, "Okay." So I pick him up. And I go, "Okay, we're gonna walk to the door." And he looks at me like I'm completely nuts. And he's got this like lime green shirt on. I think he bought it. It must have been his wife's shirt. I have no idea. That's a little inside joke between me and Paralyzed Dave. And
You call him Paralyzed Dave?
that's it, Paralyzed Dave.
Paralyzed Dave.
That's the irony of this
Well,
whole.
this is who the Dr. Tim is, just so
Okay,
you know.
Go
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I pick him up. We manage, and he's my size, if not bigger. We wobble to the front of the building. Out the door. I look at him. He looks at me. He starts crying. And I'm like, just rips my heart out of my chest. I'm like, holy crap. This is like why we do this. And he looks at me. He's like, "I found you." And I'm like, "Dude, let's go." I mean, it brings tears to my eyes now. It's
Right.
like, it just resonates so deeply with me when I find somebody who's willing to do the work, put in the time, be consistent, and get it done.
I feel like that's where traditional medicine has failed most people. Because if it doesn't fit into a box, or as it doesn't, if they didn't read about it in a classroom, or they haven't seen it done, then it can't be done, right?
100%.
And Dave was so excited to find you because you weren't going to take what everybody else said couldn't be done
26 years we've been paralyzed.
and literally make it so, right? Like you decided, okay, challenge accepted, let's get this done.
So what has happened to Paralyzed Dave?
Paralyzed Dave now can walk. Well, his goal is to do a 5K.
Wait, he's actually up out of that chair
He's
walking?
out of the chair. This is a lot of work, a lot of years, and a lot of trial and error.
Oh, sure.
But he has a soft brace for his ankles because his foot drop, neurological foot drop. He can walk from there to there, which is about 100 yards, 50 yards
Yeah.
both ways, and he can do 10 laps.
Oh my gosh.
How, can you tell us what the original injury was?
Skiing accident,
Skiing accident, okay. So spinal,
broke his back,
broke his back,
broke his neck.
and they said you'll never walk again, here's your wheelchair?
They pretty much, they did what they could
Yeah,
and pushed him through the system.
sure.
And he, like most people, when you see the traditional knock and when you listen to them and they are the gospel truth. So, okay, this is it. This is what I got. I don't have to deal with it. When you walk in, my whole goal is if you can get through that door, let me know. Now, getting through that door is not easy.
Yeah.
The address isn't listed. My phone number is wrong. I'm referral only.
Sure.
But I mean, that part of being referral only is you're going to send somebody in because you've been here and you kind of know what to expect, so you can kind of share that with them. And it really helps me to filter a lot of people who want the miracle without wanting to do the work,
Yeah.
because miracles happen every day, but seemed like it happened overnight, but it was 6 years worth of work.
It's where you don't see those 6 years behind. Does he walk around like, oh, he's gonna go to the grocery store or whatever? He'll get up and get out of the car and go walk around the grocery store, or does he still?
He walks freely in here, no sticks. He's
Okay.
got these braces that he'll use.
Yeah.
So when he's outside of here, until we get a little more stability, a little more strength,
Yeah.
I want him if he's practicing, he can do it without the sticks. He goes to the beach, he can do it without the sticks. Really hard, but
Yeah.
generally I want him either using the sticks, or let's say he's in construction guy, right? So he helped build this place right here, and that's about a 20-foot ceiling. He's on the top of the ladder, standing there, and I'm sitting there looking up, going, holy macaroni.
Dave.
I go, Paralyzed Dave, you're amazing. Like,
I don't think we can call him that anymore.
oh no, but see that's the
I
irony.
know, it is.
I love that. That is, and when people walk in, and there's the whole thing of like, you can't say certain things these days, and like a newbie, let's say a newbie's in here, and I'll be like, hey, Paralyzed Dave. And they'll look at me and their jaw will drop.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know what? This is old school in here. This is, you know, we're always offending people, and I'm sorry. So I'll just say that in the beginning, and that's enough for the rest of the night. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
No, yeah.
so at the end of the day, like there's certain things that you do that it's just part of this place.
Yeah, I love, it's very refreshing. Have you had people come in and go, I can't handle your euphemisms with the Paralyzed Dave thing and how irreverent you are?
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people that have come in here and been shocked, and if their second, third, fourth time, really like a lot of people come in due to pain. Pain is a great motivator,
Absolutely.
and I often call this place the island of last resort. So you've been, and I'll hear this all the time. I've been the best here and the best specialist doing this. Blah blah blah. Blah. I'm like, great. So what do you want me to do?
They're listing down their resume
Yeah.
of painkillers.
I'm like, fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
super impressed. What can I do?
Right.
And they're like, well, none of it worked.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, well, so this is a totalitarianistic regime. We do it my way,
Yeah.
and that's it. And it's gonna, and I go through that whole litany of it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be pain, blah, 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 blah. And if they last 2 or 3 sessions, they're
Yeah. You got to get them back for that second and third session.
Yeah.
Denise is a testament to that.
Yeah.
Because after the first one, she's like, I don't know.
yeah. And you could easily, and I hear what you said earlier all the time. I can't believe I paid for this.
Right.
And then you walk out of here, and you're like, thank you.
For making
I'll
me
see
pay
you
for
soon.
this. Yeah,
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm
And
coming
I
back
love
more.
it.
The first thing you notice when you walk in here is not only is this place unconventional, but Tim is unconventional in his appearance. And I say that only because typically you're gonna find a guy or a girl, she's wearing her Lulus, she's wearing her workout outfit, and a workout guy will be wearing maybe a pair of sweatpants or a pair of sports shorts. You're not wearing that on a daily basis.
Let's
Make
run
it
down.
feels better.
Let's run
Your
down the
uniform
doctor,
is not conventional.
the Dr. Tim outfit. Let's start at the bottom. Those are basic construction work boots, right? They still
Timberlands.
They're Timberlands.
I've been wearing Timberlands for 40 years.
So you work out in those? Is
Oh yeah, I run
okay.
in these, I work out in them. These are, without a doubt, the best shoe ever designed. I don't care, Nike can,
Okay.
I love Adidas for, sports. I love Asics for court stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not against sneakers.
Right.
Right? However, for me personally, think about the military, right? America's military. Think of the elite in the military. Let's do a special forces group.
Okay.
What do they train day in and day out of, nonstop? These boots. Boots similar to these with the steel shank. And why do they do that? They're not going to get hurt. They're only going to build strength. They're stable. They're comfortable. They're waterproof. They're whatever you need whenever you need them to be that.
They're okay on your back.
They're fantastic.
Okay, so they have support.
This is support times 10.
I know a lot of heavy lifters use Converse because they're flat, they can keep their feet flat on the ground, that type of thing.
Sure.
This is sort of achieving, it's like, it looks unconventional to the outside eye, but it's really not.
I run my dog Cujo 10 miles a day.
10 mile, you take a 10 mile
And
run?
it's so funny because I'll get up where I live up in Newport. People will pull over and they'll be like, Doc, you actually run in those shoes? And I'm like, yep. And they're like, oh my God, as they speed off.
As they go. Do you recommend them? Are those just sort of for you, or do you recommend those shoes for other people?
I don't necessarily recommend them. I don't have any affiliation with them.
No, not Timberlands specifically, but like just like a boot. What should I be popping on a boot?
I think you
So,
should.
here's what I mean. It's just like a nutrition plan, right?
Right.
My whole vibe is the thing that's going to work for you is the thing that you're going to do.
That's true.
And that's it. So most people aren't going to wear these because they're not cool, they're not fashionable. I mean, I've worn them long enough where they've come in and out of fashion 3 or 4 times.
Easily, I know.
So at the end of the day,
This is your trademark, let's just.
yeah, I love it.
This is it.
Yeah. And I mean, so if you don't wear these and you don't like them, you're not going to use them. So I try to figure out what you like, what you'll use,
Yeah.
and we do the best with that and we build it around you.
Right.
So we're working our way up.
Yep.
You've got some thick white socks that you pull up so you can see those on the
Hanes,
top.
baby, made in America.
Hanes.
That'd be made in America.
That's right. Then we go up a little farther and we've got up here
Oh.
khaki cargo pants.
Yep, Tommy Mahomes.
Tommy Bahama cargo shorts
With the pockets.
with pockets. Now, I'm just saying this because I've never seen him in anything else. Never.
100%.
Do you keep like snacks and treats in those pockets? What do you got? What's
We'll
happening?
get to his nutrition for his personal nutrition next because that's also unique. But then
why,
the
why the cargo shorts? Is there a specific reason behind the cargo shorts? Because some dolphin shorts, those come and go too.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, it's a little, not there's anything wrong with it.
There's nothing.
No, so I'm a surfer,
Uh-huh.
been a beach guy for my entire life.
Right.
And so when I go to work, I want to wear shorts. So I would consider these dressier than like my bathing suit.
Okay, yeah.
So it would be this or my Quicksilver bathing suit.
Okay.
And these are more functional, a little more socially acceptable.
Okay, got it.
You're also a practical guy. Let's just be
Yeah.
real. Like, if
I'm a
it
dude.
works, do it. You're a total dude. You're a total dude. I was sitting in here. I'm gonna tell a little funny story. This is how much of a dude he is. We're sitting here, and he was like, all of a sudden, I'm getting therapy on something, and there's like 4 of us. And he says to somebody behind me, "Oh my gosh, I found this thing. It's called a crock pot."
Oh, it's
Wait,
amazing.
you said this, Dr.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he was like talking like all of a sudden it was the newest discovery on the planet, and I turned my head around and I was like, and Alex, who is also a chiropractor who also works out people here.
Dr. Alex.
Dr. Alex,
Phenomenal
if,
known
if
for-
she's not here, I was hoping we would get her by the time she was here, but we were late. But she's awesome. I looked at her and I go, is he joking right now? She goes, no, he's not joking. He was like, all of a sudden, like this was like a few months ago,
Yeah.
he made the discovery of a crock pot.
So my dog got sick. I'm boarding a plane in Hawaii and I'm back. The vet calls me, your dog's got pyometra. Right? And this is a PSA here. So if you don't fix or spay your dog, within 10 years they get pyometra. From pyometra they go to septic shock. From septic shock, if they survive it, 3 out of 4 probably don't. If they survive it, they're gonna get cancer.
Oh my goodness.
So Cujo went through the gamut, got it all, and during, long story short, you know, I took care of her at night, the hospital took care of her during the day, so I figured if she's gonna die, she's gonna die with me. I'm not gonna let her die alone. Love this dog. It's my heart and soul. I bring her coffee every day. And so as I'm taking care of her, I'm eating a burrito from this place. We're gonna make out, and she like smells the chicken. She like, just comes alive. And I'm like, wow, okay, cool. So I give it to her. Just give her, you know, like she needs to eat.
Yeah.
And so then I go back to the question, how do you guys make this? They're like, oh, we do it in the crock pot. And then we have this giant thing.
You're like, I don't know what a crock
I'm
pot
like,
is.
sweet. So, well, Google, right? Go on the internet. Modern age. And so I find the crock pot situation and I order it. So I've been making my husky. Like, I do tri-tip or chicken, you know, free range chicken. Every other night she gets one of the other. So straight protein. And I mean, she's healthy as always. She's
And-
10 years old and ready to rock.
How long ago was she sick?
February.
Just in February. Her name is truly Cujo?
Natasha,
Oh, Natasha, but you call her Cujo?
because she's the devil.
But is she the sweetest thing ever? Or?
Sweetest thing ever.
Okay, she's not truly.
Not to everybody, but to Dr. Tim she is.
That's all that matters.
Yes, no.
Dr. Tim gives her the crock
The
pot
hand
chicken.
that feeds her
That's right.
is who matters. She is in her own crate when she's here. She looks up at you when she hears you moaning and groaning and yelling and screaming, and she's not at all interested, nor,
Unless you have a piece of chicken in your hand, she can care less.
that's right.
That's right.
You have to have that.
You should bring that from now
Yes.
on.
Speaking of nutrition, I think one of the best things that you offer also is a weight loss solution.
Absolutely.
But what is your approach to that? I already know this, but it's for the listeners.
Simplicity.
Right.
And again, the thing that is going to work for you is the thing that you're going to do. So I'll have an idea of what I want you to eat. It's all clean, nothing preserved, nothing processed. I'm not a fan of sugar, I'm not a fan of dairy, I'm not a fan of wheat. America's health crisis. I mean, we can sit here and go all through how important it is to be healthy and all this. You walk into your grocery store, and I mean, you are bombarded with crap. And I mean, every single aisle could kill you at any given time. And I mean, it's cheap, it's accessible. Well, it's not cheap these days. It's accessible, it's easy to prepare, tastes good, if that's my whole vibe, food isn't about flavor. If you're identifying an emotional component of food, you need to grapple with your feelings and let go and stop hugging the Parmesan cheese. Like find a human being or something else that you can love other than a bowl of ice cream.
I'm just laughing right now really
Because
hard.
you know I want to cry.
Because we just stopped
You
at
just had a bowl of ice cream?
No, we just stopped at Panini Grill. I'm like, and I sound like some kind of addict right now when I talk about days in. I'm about 8 days into eating as clean as I can possibly eat.
Beautiful.
You know, it's not your diet exactly, but it works for me now because I'm traveling and doing all these things.
Right.
But I feel proud of myself because I'm not having sugar. Like I'm not looking for the Oreo, I'm not looking for the quick fix, and I'm not having these highs and lows. And specifically, I'm not having headaches on a regular basis, which is really the reason I started all of this, because I knew that hormonally and everything, my body is just saying, okay, Denise, you need to stop.
Food is fuel. It's as simple as
The
that.
fuel I was putting in was toxic.
You can feed inflammation or you can feed healing.
That's
and
exactly what was happening.
Yep.
I mean, I couldn't even get my rings off, my fingers, because I was so swollen, and I was just feeling gross, and I don't feel good, right? It's not even about losing the weight. So anyway, fast forward to today, we're driving over here, and we had a conversation, and what were you saying about food?
That I love it.
See, you're attaching emotion to food.
I guess I am, but I love going out to eat. I love fixing beautiful food. I have a brother who's a fantastic cook, and we do that together. We share recipes. I love to eat good food.
She said, I love to make food, and I love to go out and meet food.
I do.
Meat.
Yeah,
And that's when you said
How do you
hugging.
introduce yourself to food?
Well,
she says, hello.
I say hello. When you
Pasta.
Said,
I'm
when,
here
he,
for you.
when he said hugging Parmesan, did that not just ring into your soul?
I stared you down.
I mean, because I have Parm in my fridge right now that I'm gonna go home and talk to and just.
But I'm all about balance.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and I'm not a tree hugger. You're not going to be eating just like fruits and berries and
Here's an
steaks.
almond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's about. So I'll point out a couple of things.
Okay.
And like any book you've ever read, anything you've ever researched, that's against meat, this will dispel it in 2 seconds.
Tell me, because I love meat.
Okay. So I'll
Wow,
point.
you said that with some sexiness behind it.
Yeah,
I don't know
we're
what that
hunters and
was.
gatherers,
We
right?
are, very much.
But being biped, 2 legs, we're not the fastest or the most agile. But we've got these. What are these?
Eyes.
And they see. So
Yeah.
I can see prey out on the prairie, right? And what are these?
Legs.
Legs. I can run. I can run down. I can chase it down.
Right.
Now what are these?
Fingers.
Fingers. I can grab my animal and catch it.
Yeah.
And then I can, with these dexterity, hopefully, I can rip flesh off bone and put it in this. What is this?
Mouth.
Good. No, it's as simple as this.
Yeah.
And these?
Teeth.
Teeth. So the teeth can emulsify the food that I just took off the animal carcass to actually feed my body. And then as I swallow the food, it goes to my metabolic system and it recognizes it and it utilizes it as fuel. So the whole vibe of you shouldn't eat meat. Meat is bad. Chicken is bad. Steak is bad. You shouldn't be having it 3 meals a day. It certainly shouldn't be processed or preserved. However, you need meat. You need the hormones in meat. You need the minerals and the iron in meat. Like it is an essential component to health. And if we didn't have all the faculties with which to catch, prepare, metabolize the animal, then it wouldn't happen.
Right. Right.
So we have the basic mapping in order to utilize all of these nutrients, but just not in the aggressive way that McDonald's or In-N-Out or whoever it is are feeding us 3 times a day.
What about, as long as we're talking about food, what about sugar? Do you think that's the biggest drug of choice right now with people?
It's a toss-up between sugar and caffeine for me. And
Are they both equally as bad?
there is nothing good about sugar.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to have sugar, have sugar.
Okay.
Anything that's fake sugar, get rid of it.
Like your Splenda, your Stevias, and
At
those.
the end of the day, have the real deal.
Really?
Because your body's going to recognize its chemical composition.
And
at
do
least
what?
it's going to break it down.
Okay.
You're still going to get an insulin spike. You're still going to get all the poor and ill effects. And sugar's one of the things I don't want you to have. Okay, so if you're looking at food for fuel, what's the bang for your buck in sugar? A quick burst of energy and then off the cliff.
And the taste.
Yeah.
It's the taste.
But it's also going to create decay in your teeth. Teeth issues are related to heart issues. I mean, there's this cascade effect that just goes diabetes. I mean, the amount of sugar in foods. We were talking about like Halloween coming up, right? And let's talk about diabetes. Let's talk about obesity.
Yes.
So, how many people you guys think died last year of obesity?
From obesity?
Yeah. How many people died of COVID last year?
I don't know.
Okay,
It keeps
so,
changing.
But I mean, and the numbers constantly change. But I bet we pulled 10 people here to say the exact number,
Okay.
and it's probably over 1 million,
Died from COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
give or take, you know, or with COVID, however you want to phrase it. It's
Exactly.
probably
There's a
with
difference.
COVID. Almost 3 million people died last year of obesity.
3 million?
3 million. Where's the government response for this?
Yeah.
Where's the epidemic for this? And quite honestly, the pandemic. An epidemic is happening here in the United States, without a doubt. But I can guarantee you, as everyone wants to be like America, they're just going to get fatter and fatter and eat these terrible foods because they're easy, they're processed, they're being able to not have to prepare the meal.
Yeah.
I mean, it simplifies things. It dumbs down the American population in a way that makes them sick and feeble, and it's pathetic.
It is really sad. We talked about it during the pandemic. I was in here pretty much when things started opening up again, and we just kept talking about how it was such a disservice, and it continues to be a disservice, that we never talk about what is the preventative option for this pandemic. Obesity was one of the major factors of why people were really, really sick or even dying.
100%.
And our government was not talking about the fact that let's get out and walk. I mean, instead of
They were
going,
closing the beaches
Right.
and not letting you go out of your
you
house.
couldn't come to a gym legally and be working out, right? Like
But you can go to the pizza parlor, you go to the ice cream parlor, you go wherever you want.
marijuana shop. You
Yeah.
go to you can go get alcohol at a liquor store. It was just the most frustrating and maddening thing to see that instead of us taking an approach, and even now, okay, we're out of the pandemic pretty much,
Yeah.
even though, there's still more talk and a lot of people are getting it again, but hospitalizations aren't the problem anymore.
Sure.
It doesn't seem to be. We're still not talking about what we can do to be in better health so that even if you get a cold, it doesn't turn into pneumonia, or that you'll be able to fight it off with the best immune system possible.
That's where I come in.
Yeah.
I mean, that my whole vibe is, let's take what you got and let's fix it. And then we're going to make it as great as it can be. And I don't care if you're 25 years old or 75 years old.
Right.
The sky's the limit, and the only thing holding you back is you.
Love that.
When I come in here, the thing that will really be eye-opening to a lot of people is when you're talking about, it doesn't matter how old you are. There are kids in high school here because they've been hurt, knee problems, whatever. They're athletes that are getting rehabbed, or their parents have invested the time and effort for you to be their coach, so to speak, their workout coach, so that they can have an advantage possibly on the fields, but do it the right way. Because a lot of people don't know what's going on. And then you will also see in the same room at the same time an 80-something-year-old working out.
Yeah, I love that so much.
And then there's me in the middle.
Well, sure. Sure.
So that's again the sense of community where I'll be talking to somebody who is retired for 20 years, and I'm talking to somebody else who is on their break that just got out of high school and is a senior and getting ready to go to college.
100%.
And it's fun.
Mhm.
And both of you are lifting 2 to 3 pound weights
Right.
and dying, because there's nothing heavy in here, there's nothing extreme in here, there's no high intensity anything. This is simple, true biomechanics coupled with neurological firing patterns and muscular sequencing.
I think that's where people get confused. We had a conversation for our podcast with a woman named Jen, who is a competitive bodybuilder. She is built to be a competitive bodybuilder. She has the perfect frame. She has the mindset. So you look at her and you go, I'm going to do that. And it's like, well, but there's just some people that And I love what you're saying. It's like, let's just take what you got and make it the best it can be. It
100%.
might be that you're competing in the bikini bodybuilding competition at 60 years old. It might be that you're just a lot healthier and that you stopped going to in and out drive-throughs at 10 o'clock at night for your chocolate shake.
Yeah.
I don't wanna name any names. Hypothetically, not,
Uh-oh.
not saying exactly who that might be.
But I love that thought that it's like, just be the best version of yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
The other thing that keeps me coming in here is the man sitting across from me, because he is positive.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard you get frustrated with people, and there's people who are kind of like
Frustrating?
They're frustrating.
High maintenance.
They're high
Oh,
maintenance,
man.
and I'm like, dude, like, just shut up and do what he's telling you, like, right?
A lot of negotiating goes on.
Is there negotiating?
I've
Doctor-
There's not, but they try.
I have to say, I'm probably guilty of that negotiation.
Everybody does.
Everybody does it because you know what it's gonna feel like when you get started.
Do you have high-end clients in here?
The highest.
He literally has.
That was I asked that the wrong way. Let's try that again.
I might drive up and there is a few Bentleys. There are Lamborghinis. There is a little bit of everything in this parking lot that literally, I'm sure people are like, is this a drug house that we're passing? Like, what is going on?
Kinda.
It is, again, the people who know.
Yeah.
This is for people who want no nonsense, and I kind of feel like it is somebody that you have to be somebody that is willing to work hard and believe in yourself.
100%.
Because if you don't have the idea, but I can tell you this, I don't always have that feeling about myself, and when I came here, I didn't feel that way always, because when you kind of let yourself go, or you haven't done something in a long time, you're like, oh, it's too late.
It's never too late.
And that's the attitude. You have that attitude.
This
that-
is the fountain of youth. And the fountain of youth is just a body of water. And it's nothing spectacular. It's just a body of water. We are all bodies of water. We are all the fountain of youth. It's all within.
It's all within. But you have that attitude whenever you're here, and he always makes everybody feel like it is possible.
Because it is.
It is.
I know, but it's hard to imagine that when you're 50 pounds overweight and your knees hurt, and I mean, that's the reality of what people are coming in. My father is almost 80. He's had bad knees really for a while now. It's debilitating to him. He's with a Kaiser, and they're terrible at getting him in on a regular basis for any kind of medical work. I had told him when he had his knee done that I would pay for him to come to you for 10 things. He's overweight, and he feels like there's no option. And he feels like it's not worth it. And I keep telling him, Dad, go see Dr. Tim. I can tell you this, you're not going to like what he's going to tell you, but it works.
And people hate the truth until they hear it. And if you're honest with yourself, you'll embrace it.
Especially if you feel like there's somebody on your side.
And that's my whole predication of success. I always ask, is the future predictable? It absolutely is. It's predicated on the choices you're making today. And we are all champions of ourselves. And we're all our worst critics. But we have to draw on the positive in order to create that environment that it's multifactorial, right? It's eating, it's moving, it's therapy. That's kind of like my day. That's kind of what I do.
You have a positive attitude. You have this ability to bring that to this area. People feel it. It's contagious. Where did that come from?
I've always felt like I like to win. Second place is first place. This everybody gets a trophy baloney is not a big
We've
fan.
talked about this before.
Okay, so like where I've been seeking a lot of victories the last 20 years, when you win, I win. You ain't losing. Not with me on your team.
I love that.
I'm gonna drive you until you get it done.
Right.
And like I said, we'll make some errors, but we'll also make some gains.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you will reap all the benefits.
I love it.
And
But
so-
it's for you too.
Absolutely, I get a total high off of it, and and I don't care if you're a Major League Baseball player or starting in the NFL. or if you're walking your kid to school, like, and you couldn't before, right?
Yeah.
I want you to play. I want you to be able to walk your kid to school. I want you to be able to do whatever it is that makes you happy, because I draw on that. And it lights me up from inside. And if my light gets brighter, everyone else's light.
You mentioned that you surf.
Yeah.
What else? What other physical activities? Like what do you play?
Well, tons of volleyball.
Volleyball.
Yeah, I'm a big beach volleyball guy.
Okay.
Indoor too.
Yeah.
Virtually anything with a ball.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I recently picked up this pickleball situation, and I've always said to myself, anything you can do drunk isn't a sport.
Drunk isn't a sport. Got you.
Right.
I had to think about that for a sec.
So like, and when I first played pickleball, I'm like, oh my god, this is like ping pong. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then as you play a little more, man, you're like, okay, wait a minute, there's something to this.
Yes.
Right.
And then, you know, it's like, okay, I retract that statement. This is actually a sport. This is legit. You know? And then, I mean, now you've got Brady buying a team. You've got, you know, a few basketball guys buying teams.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's still going. But I mean, if you really pick any sport on the beach, I like to play.
Nice. Okay. Some physical therapist suggested my husband start doing some yoga or some stretching, etc. And he goes, "How do I know who wins if I'm doing yoga?"
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's your kind of guy.
He's a man. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a man's man.
He's a dude.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's a dude. You've had a lot of regular people, and then you've worked with not so regular people.
Sure.
What have you done over the years?
I've worked on different tours. I've worked with different teams.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold up.
Party drop.
I'm sorry, and I dropped my water.
On
That's
the
all right.
Gucci's.
Again, just water.
It's just water. Okay. It's not.
Natural element.
Okay.
To be absorbed by the plant.
So sorry.
No
Okay.
harm, no foul.
Let's start again.
Okay.
You've worked with a lot of regular people, but you've also had the opportunity to work with not so regular people. Who have you had the pleasure of working out and doing your thing with?
I don't really kiss and tell, right?
I know.
Yeah, because
Please.
part of the allure here is one of the reasons why this building looks like it's from 1942. You pull up and there's homeless guys.
And you don't know that
and
there's something good behind
It's like
it.
it's on fire. It's because of the anonymity,
Yeah.
right? And I don't care if you're Hollywood, or if you're an influencer, or if you're a major leaguer, or an NFL guy, or whatever it is you do. In here, you're in the mixing pot, and you become one of us, because our strength is in numbers,
That's right.
and we're all equal. So I mean, it's been a glorious and super grateful for all the people I've been exposed to and been able to help. But for me, it's never about like the name drop. It's always about the result.
You have worked with Major League Baseball,
Yep.
PGA,
Yep.
NFL.
Yep.
Anything else? Am I missing something?
Real Housewife.
Surfing, yeah. I've done a few things with the girls, yeah.
The ladies.
The
He's been on the Real Housewives of
Oh,
Orange
you've
County.
been on too. You've been
I've
like.
been on it over the years. I've gotten in trouble, and it's I was a.
I want to know about the trouble. What'd you do?
You know, it's interesting. It's a bit of a funny story. So I'm weighing in Shannon. I call her a woman beater, Shannon Bedore.
Okay.
I've known her forever. Coached her kids in soccer.
Okay.
I love soccer too, sport. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites. But so that's how I learned. That's how I met Shannon years ago. She's in the office, we're filming, and she gets on the scale. She's always been very petite, very lean, and she was having some marital issues and whatnot. And so her body fat soared, right? And so like, I look at the reading and I'm like, wow. And that little snippet just got a life of its own.
Oh no!
He actually said it, and I
Actually,
remember watching it, and I hadn't been here yet, and I was like, wow, there you, and I knew who Dr. Tim was because my sister has come here and Hot has come here, and when I thought, I'm like, Dr. Tim, you go. I mean, I didn't find that offensive. She
The
didn't
truth
find
isn't
it
offensive.
She wasn't offended by it, was she?
Not at all. She
No,
comes into that.
she came in because she knows you're going to give her the truth, and
She
that's
wants
why
to
you
hear somebody tell her, wow, like this is not right. This
because
is
she
you're
needs
not
motivation.
helping.
So society shamed you. They tried to cancel Dr. Tim.
At the end of the day, like there's a few people that were offended by it and made some complaints, you know, at a on different levels. And
Who'd they complain to?
you know,
Bravo.
the board, Bravo, whoever would listen to them. And it was funny because, you know, as the board would say, well, Betty in Iowa really thinks you're an a-hole. And, you know, we want to know, what did you do to her? And I'm like, well, geez, I didn't do much. I've never met her. And they're like, okay, well, why would she complain about it? I'm like, well, it's this reality TV show thing and blah, blah, blah. Just show us the soap notes, the patient notes,
Okay.
and we can settle this. And I go, excuse me, I've never seen her. Like, she's angry with me over a TV show from, you know, 2,500 miles away.
Uh-huh.
And so it took a little bit of finesse. It took a few months, and then everybody was on the same page.
Got it.
It took a life of its own. And at the end of the day, if anybody walks in here and they want the truth, that's what I'll get.
Don't walk through that door if you don't want to hear the truth.
If you want to get your ass kissed, it's not going to happen.
No, there's plenty of places to go for
Not gonna
that.
happen.
Yeah.
I think that just is a, it just is telling societal reality now.
Totally.
That everybody wants the easy way out. We can't offend, we can't hurt, and nobody wants to be offended or hurt.
And I'm not here to offend you. I'm here to help you.
Exactly, but I'm saying when they hear it in real life, like when you were talking that way to Shannon, they felt like they needed to defend her almost, or that person in Iowa was probably, 200 pounds overweight,
100%.
and she's probably upset by
She
the
felt
fact
attacked.
she felt attacked, which is her problem, not our problem. And again, this is why we're in the predicament we're
Look
in.
at the ads that are coming out on television right now. I mean, I'm sorry, I open up a Victoria's Secret magazine and I'm like, oh my God, it's outrageous.
Why?
So if you open up a Victoria's Secret from 2005 versus 2022, you'll fall over. I mean, they're promoting this lifestyle and this weight gain as normal, or as being okay, or being like, it's beautiful to be 50 pounds overweight. And honestly, I don't care what you think is beautiful. My job is to keep you healthy, and it's a black and white line for me. You're either with your BMI at your correct body fat and a good weight. You don't have to be tiny. You don't have to be skinny.
You don't have to be a supermodel.
You just have to be healthy. I'm not talking about like weighing 110 pounds, but I'm saying if you're 250 pounds and you're 5'5", you're going to have a litany of health issues that are easily avoidable if we get started today. And
I can't believe you brought that up. We sit there and watch TV and there's commercials on, and these women they're not healthy. And they're promoting underwear, whatever. Not necessarily the brand you mentioned, but just like, this is gonna be great, it's a new underwear, whatever. This is going absolutely nowhere, what I'm saying. I'm just complaining. I don't know.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
I can't get over the amount of cellulite I'm seeing on models, and whoever is producing the clothes thinks that I'm going to buy that.
But that's so much of the population these days. And if you look at that statistic that is throughout 2.9 million dying of obesity, there is the national problem. There is the red flag. That is the emergency of the state right now. And right now, we're celebrating it. And I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
We've gone, but I'll be the devil's advocate right now, because I can hear the women across America who are listening to this, and they'll be saying, well, that's a man saying that. And
That's not a man, that's a doctor.
He's just a sexist pig who thinks that Victoria's Secret needs to be a certain way, and if you're
Now,
not
that might be
Victoria's,
true.
if you're not a Victoria's Secret model, then you're not good looking. That's not what he's saying.
That's
And I
absolutely
think really, and Ann and I have had this conversation, neither one of us are obese. So we don't relate to it on that level, but we are not at our healthiest always, and we always know we can do better. When I open up a catalog and I see somebody that is 100 pounds overweight wearing a big bathing suit, I don't feel like that is a representation of what we should be celebrating. Not because that person's not a good person, or not because that person isn't looking beautiful. She does. She doesn't look unbeautiful to me. I know that she's not healthy.
Yeah.
And everyone can say, oh yeah, whatever, you're skinny, shut up. That's not, that's where we all keep going, right? We all keep going to the extreme of, let's not hurt anybody's feelings, let's make this politically correct.
Yeah, I'm not here to hurt anyone's feelings. And I mean, beauty does come in every shape, size, and color. And health is beauty is very subjective. Health is objective. It's science versus feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's math versus philosophy. So I can definitively say, I think some of the Victoria's Secret women are beautiful, even though they're overweight. But like they're not. I don't think we should be promoting them. I don't think we should be saying like, hey, this is cool. Let's just roll with this. I think at the end of the day, if we make concessions and we hurt some feelings and we come up with some truths and we say, this is what happens when you overeat. Diabetes is a serious problem. You get neurological issues, you get amputation issues. There's not a rainbow at the end of this trail. And it's gonna be a big problem for you. And it's, if you're in control of what you eat, which we all are, if we all put whatever's on the plate, from the plate to our mouth, we can easily choose better.
When you look at the standard diets, and I'm just gonna toss them out there, I'm not a fan or defending any of them. Your Weight Watchers, your Jenny Craig's, your keto, say, the plant paradox. Do any of those diets, I don't wanna say work, but what goes through your head when you hear someone who's been like, well, I've been on X diet for this amount of time?
Anything's gonna work once. Whatever you do once will work.
Okay.
And then when you go off of it and go back to your normal lifestyle, then you start running into complications. So it's all about balance, it's all about consistency, and it's all about lifestyle modification. So if you're gonna eat Jenny Craig for the rest of your life, it wouldn't be my first choice, right? I want real food. I don't want, if you're gonna microwave your food, I don't necessarily want that. I want stuff that spoils. I want stuff that was either alive or off of a tree, right? Or out of the ground. If it can, I have a household rule. If it can last on the shelf for 30 days, how the hell can your stomach break it down in 3 hours? It can't. Impossible. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Are you rethinking your pantry right now?
My cereal choices?
I mean, it's
This one
processed
right
and
here.
preserved.
Yeah, it is.
This one right here likes to set a big box of cereal on her lap. I'm not trying to like rat you out. I'm just using
You're
you as
running
an
me out to
example.
Dr. Tim and
And you
it's
just put
hurtful.
your hand in there and you start eating it, and that's her thing. And it's really endearing for me to watch.
Sure.
But now I'm concerned.
I'm gonna need the phone number of that lady in Ohio.
No, but I mean that's the vibe, right? Like we, rather than like pushing all of these sugars and all these terrible foods.
Yeah.
Why don't we just shift gears? And they don't have these problems in a lot of countries
They don't.
because they don't have all this variety. They don't have all these choices. And
Conveniences.
yes, we've created a monster in the American population of convenience.
It's true.
It's true.
Was not talking about Homeland Security, so.
That's fine. I knew it would. I had to bring it up.
See, that's true.
What else can we talk about with you? What else sounds like something fun?
This has been so interesting. I told you, this has been amazing.
Anything you guys want? Like, come up with any time.
Okay, let me ask you. We may not use this, but we absolutely can. When the whole vaccine came out for COVID, what was your opinion? As a healthcare, you're a healthcare provider.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts and what are your thoughts?
As a healthcare provider, I understand the importance of the urgency of the situation with the pandemic, people dying, loved
We
ones,
didn't know.
grandma, the unknown. Yeah. Now, and whatever political regime you're for doesn't matter because they both endorse this, they both embrace this. I am old school. Like, what I do is I build your body to fight degeneration, disease, disability, right? So I always go back to my old playbook and I go, okay, what is this coronavirus? I'll pull this Lysol can that's 10 years off the shelf, got it under forever. In the middle of all the things that it fights, coronavirus is on there. Wow.
Wait, that was on a 10-year-old can?
Yes. So I'm sitting there with Lysol that you spray. And I'm sitting there going, okay, so coronavirus has been around for a while. So it makes me want to drill down on some information. So as you kind of drill into the information, you look at it, and you see the SARS and the SARS-2, and you understand the epidemiology of it and how it's going to affect each person differently, and the comorbidities and the complications. But you also understand that if it's been around for this long, and we've been living with it, theoretically, not to this scale, but it gives you, it makes me take a step back and go, what are we going to do with the vaccine?
Yeah.
So, and if you got vaccinated, great. Whatever your choice is, I support you. If you're not vaccinated, I support you. I'm here to help you, regardless of what you chose. My job was and is to build your immune system, make you defend against anything, be it COVID, be it pneumonia, be it cancer, be it, and certain things we'll get through, right? But you're fortified, you're strong, you're healthy, you're lean, you're in your best physical shape. So whatever tragic disease comes at you, you're gonna really give it a good run for the money. And most likely, knock on wood, you're gonna defeat it and you're gonna come out on top. So with the advent of the vaccines, I like stuff that's been around a long time. So the Johnson & Johnson has been around, I think, 20 years, give or take. Nothing too crazy to report on that. Did it work? Did it not work? Who knows? The Moderna, brand new stuff, great new technology. It's definitely the future. The Pfizer, it's the future. The mRNA stuff, the genomics, and all the things that are coming through the pipeline of medicine as we enter into this next sphere of future medicine. It's way above my pay scale. I am a grassroots guy. Like I am, let's tackle this head on. Let's be smart. Let's build our bodies and make ourselves the vaccine.
Like create our own ability to fight this off.
Build your immunity strong enough so that if you get hit by it, and now keep in mind, I've had COVID
Tell
a
us
few
about
times. The first time I got it was we really didn't know what it was, and I got it Christmas Day, 2019, it was right before 2020, and so I had some guys in from China, some heavy hitters, right, and one of them was sick as a dog, hugging me, and
He was in here working out with
yeah.
them.
And different guys were flying from around the world. And so I'm like, wow, that thing is sick. So, funny thing goes, Balboa Island has this boat parade. So it's Saturday night, I'm with my kid, and we go to this little Chinese place after the boat parade. And we're sitting there eating, and I'm asymptomatic, I'm fine. I just met with these guys 2 days prior. And so I'm like, okay. Let's get normal food. I get a beer, I drink it, and I look at Alex, my daughter, and I'm like, the guy gave me a bad beer. And she looks at me and she's like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? I'm like, I think I'm gonna return it. I've never returned anything in my life.
Not
Even if I
a beer,
buy
so
something on the internet, I still don't return it. I'm just that guy.
What was it that made you think it was a bad
It was
beer?
like flat and didn't taste right.
It just didn't taste right.
So I returned it. And the guy looks at me like I'm nuts. Brings me out of there, sets it in front of me. I drink it. I look at the junior and I'm like, son of a bitch brought me the same beer.
Yes.
And she's like, you're not returning that one. You're crazy. Da, 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 da. Okay.
They're gonna spit in it next time.
Yeah, I go, it's all good, whatever. So that was the illusion of the taste, right? And so then fast forward 2 days later, it's Christmas Day, or 3 days later, and I'm like, it's Christmas Eve. And we're walking up to my buddy's Christmas Eve party. And it's up a little hill again. I could walk out on my hands. And I'm huffing and puffing. And she looks at me, she's like, you're really slow. Are you okay? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I'm really sucking some wind here. This is tough. So we get up there, we go to the party. It's a great party. Everyone's having fun. We leave, we go home. I get to my couch, and I look at Alex and I go, okay, let's feed the reindeers. And then, I'm getting this out.
Yeah.
And she's about Santa? What about this? And I'm like, I'm really tired. I don't know why. So I wake up Christmas Day, sick as a dog. So I tell Junior, I'm like, yeah, let's do Christmas, do our thing. We do all that. Like, you need to go to your mom. She goes, I really don't feel good. I don't want you catching it like that.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I don't know what or why or what this is.
Right.
3 days later, I'm down 18 pounds.
What?
Yeah. The very material of the t-shirt felt like 1,000 pounds on my body. The aches, the pains, the contractions of the muscle. It was unbelievable. Without a doubt, the sickest I've ever been.
Right.
Couldn't get off the couch.
Right.
Saturday afternoon, Christmas I think was on a Thursday, like Saturday afternoon, I could walk to the mailbox. Sunday I could do a half a block. And then but I'm that guy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat right, I'm gonna get my body moving, I'm gonna get some ice on my body, I'm gonna shock my body. Didn't take any antibiotics, I didn't know which ones to take, because I didn't know what I had, and nobody else did either.
Yeah.
And
At this point, we didn't know.
Yeah.
At that point, we didn't have it. It was not common, no.
it was a Mack truck, and that first strain, obviously, the first strain is always the strongest. I can definitely see how that, if you were immunologically compromised,
Sure.
if you were, prone to a disease or death due to influenza, that would take you out
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you were elderly, there was just that first wave was intense. So that for me validated necessity and research and the rush for the vaccines and trying to protect everybody. I didn't necessarily agree with all of the mandates and all that stuff because, like I said, I think we should have been in the sun and going to the beach, going to the gym, doing this stuff. And we're intelligent enough where we can do it in a wise manner.
Right.
But if you really ask me about vaccinations in general, did I vaccinate my kid to go to school? Yes. Am I the first one to run out and grab a vaccine? Probably not. But to each their own.
What happened to your friend from China?
He was sick as a dog for about 2 months. Ended up getting long COVID. This is before we, he was probably sick he wasn't himself for about 6 months. He was fine now.
But he had to be wondering what's happening. Because again, like you said, this is
Well,
December
by the time,
2019.
so that was December.
Yeah.
It really kind of hit in March, the end of March.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was putting the pieces together. Same with me. I'm sitting there going, I went and got a bunch of antibody tests down the street. And the lady said, holy mackerel, your antibodies are off the chart.
You were teaming with it.
We want to study you.
Let's harvest it.
Yes.
Oh.
It was fascinating. It was one of those times in history where there was no wrong decision and no right decision. Just a lot of things had to be decided. Not all beneficial, but all hopefully with the intent to help mankind.
I think that personally, I like to just believe that it was for the right reasons.
I would hope so.
Wrong decisions for the right reasons, but who knew what the right thing was to do at the time.
Yep.
I think this is where history doesn't need to repeat itself. If we could do what you're talking about, which is to be proactive for our own
If we
sake.
could take the nation and like if I could be not a Fauci but a wellness czar,
Right.
I would take each and every American and those that wanted to live this lifestyle globally, make you reach your BMI, like your collective BMI, have your proper weight, be mobile and physical and do fitness and eat clean and do all of these things so that it's not a question of if the next pandemic happens, it's a question of when. And we're ready. We're strong, we're healthy, we're vital, we're ready to rock.
The beautiful thing about living in America is we do have the best medical care in the world.
100%.
There's no doubt. That's one of the reasons we're seeing the longevity in people living so long. The unfortunate part is we're not taking care of ourselves to have the quality of life.
That is it in a nutshell, because people are living longer, but their quality of life is terrible.
That's the thing. I mean, I'm using my dad and even my mom. Both of them come from a generation where I don't think this lifestyle is just easy for them to absorb, and I've always worked out. I've always utilized that as my stress release. I've always utilized that as my motivation to like have something to do. It's like a hobby. That's not how that generation was or is. That might be why COVID took so many people in that age group out, because they can't get past that.
They're weak and feeble.
They
I
are.
mean, there's 75-year-old dudes and women in here that I'll put them up against a 30-year-old.
Absolutely.
And the 30-year-old will be looking them up and down and going, what the hell are you on? Because this person is strong, they're sharp, their endurance is through the roof, and their performance is better than that the 30-year-old. And the 30-year-old is just sitting there going, wow,
It's possible.
it's totally possible.
For those people who can't come to Costa Mesa and see you, what would you tell them? Give them some tips or steps that they could take to start improving their life tomorrow.
Number one, look at food as fuel. The best thing that you can do for yourself is what you put in your body. And then make yourself the priority, right? I don't have time to work out. I don't have the money to work out. I don't have one trainer. You know, make yourself the priority. Instead of going out to dinner, maybe go to the trainer, or maybe learn a routine. Put time and effort into yourself, into your health, into your well-being, and into your mind, body, spirit, right? Because stress in the brain is also a huge trigger for all these chemical reactions and all these hormonal imbalances that wear down the body, create stress on the body. People are dropping of heart attacks and strokes and having cancer and all these terrible things now. And they would be so much better off, and they would have such a better prognosis if they could eliminate the stress, promote well-being, physical fitness, and nutrition. I mean, that look at yourself, and if you were taking care, like let's say your kid, right? I won't even say your kid, because I put these kids down there, they're in dire straits too, inactivity level. But if you could picture yourself being healthy, living long, and prospering, how would you do that? And you would do it through food, through lifestyle choices, through activity, and through stress reduction.
If somebody told you that you had the ability to live a life that was quality, and you only needed to do three things, which are the three things you said, and you could pretty much guarantee that they will live a healthy, longer life, most people, if they were in their 20s, would say, sure, I'll do that. But we don't do it anyway.
It takes work.
It takes work.
And I mean,
And a commitment.
Yeah.
But you said something that really resonates with me. We've done a couple podcasts where we've talked about things we've learned, and one of my things is balance is the key to your life being happy, right?
The thing you're gonna do is a thing.
My body and spirit. My body and spirit. You need that stimulation on all levels. The other thing we did on podcast one was the 1%, which is everybody feels like, oh, I can't do it because it's too hard. And our whole thing was that we talked about was taking it one day at a time, 1 inch at a time, 1 step at a time.
It's okay to fail, because you can try and fail. You can try and fail.
Just always keep trying.
You never fail until you give up.
Right. Oh, that's a good one.
At the end of the day, you try again. You just keep on keeping on.
Right.
Never give in, never give up. There's no excuses, there's only success.
I like it. I like it. Well, we appreciate you taking the time,
Totally.
letting us here in the dojo, in
The pain chamber.
in the place that, you know, you call home and that we all call, okay, we're gonna go there and
Mikasa Sukasa.
yeah, Mikasa Sukasa. But before we leave, we have a tradition, and that is to ask our guests to give us a takeaway gift, a tag, so to speak, something that our listeners will remember you by, something that you might live by, a motto, a phrase, a mantra. Do you have something for us today?
All the words of tongue and pen, the saddest star, what could have been. You got one life that we know, and you need to make the best of it on a daily basis. Take each day as the gift that it is, That's why they call it the present. Open that present and be your best self.
That was amazing.
It was amazing.
Oh.
That kind of brought give me the goosies. a little.
You're in the pain chamber. That's why you got the goosies.
No, that's not that. You don't get the goosies
No,
here.
no goosies in the pain chamber.
There's no goosies in the pain chamber. There's only a lot of yelling and screaming and sweating.
And rock and roll.
And it's so much fun. I'm going to be here soon.
Totally awesome.
It's
Dr.
awesome.
Chen, thank you so much for meeting with us. We appreciate you sitting down. It was very insightful. In the meantime, we're Two Average Girls. I'm Ann Police.
And I'm Denise Cooper.
See you next time. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So awesome.
Let's kill it.
It was
So fun.
great. Thank you. We kept you so late. It's 8 o'clock.
No worries.
Sorry.
It's
Do
all
you think
good.
Cujo's like eating the carpet?
Nah, Cujo's got the crock pot.
She